Hi guys, Nigel Loud Impact again. We're going to go through something today called darkness and how you can relate this to your darkness. So I'm gonna basically, this is a spider graph, and I love a good spider graph because I find that it actually helps you to, when you put pen to paper, it engages your brain. So you've got to think before you write. But not only that as well, you can feel what you're writing as well, and there's no one else around. It's something you can do. There's no pressure to this whatsoever. So what do I mean by darkness? Well, for example, darkness could be anything that is creating a negative situation within your life. So for me, for example, I mean, I'm going to say, obviously, my biggest darkness for me is cocaine and was cocaine. But obviously, there's a lot of things off the back of that come as well. So what I'm going to do a small circle in the middle, not so small circle in the middle, and I'm going to have cocaine in there. So that is my biggest darkness. Okay. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to do it based around cocaine, and I'm going to tell you about how it can work with other areas as well. So then you've got all these. So that is your main problem. What does that then create on the outside of your darkness? So mine was addiction and to cocaine. Addiction and to cocaine. So what problems did my addiction create? Well, we had loss of trust. And that's obviously one of the biggest things that anyone suffering with addiction, people tend to lose trust in you. I became unreliable. And that was a very big one for me, becoming unreliable, because there'd be loads of different things that I would plan, but for whatever reason, i.e. my addiction, I would subconsciously look for a way to get out of that without even knowing that I was trying to get out of it. But that's something we can go through another time. So what else then? So what else comes off the spin of that? My past came off the back of that. And I would sit there, so thinking about my past, so not being able to move forward. And the thing is, if you can't, I'll just do an arrow for that. If you can't see yourself moving forward, you're never going to go backwards, because you can't physically go back in time. So you're never going to go backwards. All these people go, oh, he's going back again. He's never going back. She's never going back. You are moving in a direction, but sometimes you can stay stagnant. So you can stay still like a statue, or you can look in the direction you want to go. And even if it's little steps, eventually you're going to get to where you want to go. And that's what this is designed to do. This is designed for you to put it down on paper, so you can then look through everything, feel everything, and then you can understand where you want to go. And then you can do things like the dream list that we've been through before. Right, so what else did I get off the back of that? I got a lot of paranoia, so I was paranoid. And that could, again, go with loss of trust. Because not only did people lose trust in me, I lost trust in a lot of other people as well. So then there was greed came off the back of that. Anything to do with any sort of addiction is very money orientated, and obviously mine being cocaine is one of the most expensive ones you can have. So there was a lot of greed coming off the back of that. At times I was depressed. So there was depression, low self-worth. As much as, see, I had the advantage, which contradicts it really, that I still had the strength to be able to go to work. There was the occasional day that I wouldn't go into work because my addiction became more important to me than what my job was. But 9 times out of 10, I could be out for a night, not get until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and still be able to go to work. So some would argue that was dangerous. I completely agree with you. It was stupid. I'd be working on a mechanical plant, even just driving the van into work. There's no way I should have done that. But until we get it on paper, we don't understand what we're doing. It's a low self-worth. I had my own business, and when I had my own business, I still didn't feel like I was achieving anything. Apologies for that. So what else? So I would then be riddled with guilt. And again, that can all go into the unreliable, loss of trust, letting my kids down. And for those of you that have heard my story about my near-death experience, which was the very, very last time I did ever take cocaine, and will be the last time I ever take cocaine, pending I stick to this system that I've designed. That was the main thing that hit me on that last one, was letting my daughter down. Friendships. I've lost so many friendships. Granted, some of them I had to question. Were they actually friendships? Were they acquaintances? Was it a social circle all based around cocaine? Yes, 100% it was. For me, it definitely was. I did have one or two very, very good friends that I've now lost. And, you know, we've had the chat and they go, yeah, it's all right, Nigel, you know, blah, blah. But it's not the same. It's never been the same since. It will never be the same again. And I understand that, and I've got to live with that because that was my fault. So that's fine. I can deal with that. It becomes very lonely as well. Any darkness that you're going through, for it to be dark, in your mind, in your soul, and in your thought process, you are very lonely because it wouldn't be dark. You know, you're enclosed. It's like the world is wrapping itself around you and you can't breathe. My anger was really, really bad because I was angry at myself, which then meant, of course, I was angry at the world, wasn't I? If I'm angry at Nigel, then Nigel's got to be angry at everyone else because that's the only way you can deal with it, isn't it? What else did I... I'm sure if I was to put my mind to it, then there would be a lot more other things. But you can see where this is going. Now, what I then do with this graph here is I look round and you just think, because of me, just because, and I say just very loosely because it's a very big thing, addiction, very big, I'm not writing it off at all. But because of this one thing, addiction, I lost so much of who I am. So all of this is a loss of person, which again is loss of worth or loss of self-worth. You know, letting people down, guilt, past always creeping up. I'll tell you another thing I used to have. I can't spell it. Hallucinations. No, I can't spell it. Nations. So basically with the sleep deprivation. So sleep deprivation as well. All of this is what I mean. This list can go on and on and on, but it's quite important because I did get this all wrote down and I did do this as part of my journey, which I think is very important. I don't want you guys thinking, oh, no, I just read this out of a textbook, whatever else. Parts of what I do read from books, but then I try and associate it to something that I've actually done myself. And I did do this. And that's why you can see some of this stuff's coming out quite easily. Some of them I have to remember. But what other darkness? So this is all based around my darkness. So what is your darkness? So we've got cocaine. Right, and addiction is a very big thing. So I would say that addiction maybe is the main darkness. But dealing is a darkness. Smoking is a darkness. Escorts is a darkness. Gambling is a darkness. The gym can be a darkness for some people because it takes over their life to a degree. They're not home enough to see their kids. So you've got that. Fighting can be a darkness. Now for me, those two were sort of in the same area as well, because those of you that know, obviously I'm an ex-professional fighter, and they very much swung in the same circle. Not so much now. Laws have changed now. There's a lot more testing involved and stuff, which is brilliant. It had to happen. But back in the day, many years ago, they sort of went hand in hand. If you're a fighter, you've either dabbled with, dealt with, or you do take cocaine. I'll tell you that now 100%. Which is a shame because it took away from the massive and the big triumphs that people put into obviously getting their wins and stuff. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that because this is a positive speech. So then you've got alcohol. What else? Eating is a big one. And other disorders. So you can get where I'm going. Now, you could probably associate most of these to the same things around the outside here. But then also, you know, like with dealing, for example, you haven't really, because I was taking the drug that was my addiction, I didn't really have the worry of being done over. You know, and what I mean by done over, I didn't have the worry of looking over my shoulder every 2 minutes thinking that someone's going to beat me up. But you would with dealing. So that's another aspect you'd have to the outside. With escorts, you know, or sexual disorder, you got to worry about STDs and stuff like that, whereas I didn't have that problem with mine. So this is what I'm saying, it's very important to do this on every single darkness you've got. So if you've got a smoking darkness, if you've got an eating disorder, do separate charts, because it's quite useful to see where they tie in, because sometimes the eating may only come because of the alcohol, or the alcohol may only become because of sniffing the gear, or you may only end up smoking when you're eating. There's all these different ways that it can tie in, so it's very important to get them down on separate bits of paper. So guys, this is your darkness. This is what I want you to do. So again, the darkness is in the middle, and this is the result of that darkness. So all of these on the outside are the results of that darkness. And then in a later video, we'll then go through about how we can put that into some form of trying to build on this. Yeah. So in actual fact, we could use this alongside our dream list, and there's a few other lists as well that we can go through. Okay, guys. So again, darkness, what the issue is in the middle, and all the problems that has been a result of that darkness in the middle. Any questions, guys? Obviously contact me on the email address, which is loudimpact2018 at gmail.com. Alternatively, give me a buzz on 07742 569925. As always, be positive, be strong, be true.